Alright, hey, so it looks like we have a mostly empty project. We have the player itself, collision for the floor, and then we have background 0, background 1, background 2. These three objects will be the things parallaxing in the background, and then the test for the actual animation of the ground. So let's go ahead and hit play and see what we got. Okay, so we got some smooth camera movement here, nothing too fancy, but our background's pretty stagnant, so it doesn't look so pretty. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go to new scene here, and then we're gonna go to add new event. You can also press this button up here to add a brand new empty event. We're gonna use this because it's pretty convenient for us, and then we're going to nest this underneath the parallax comment. By the way, if you don't know how to do that, right click, go to add other, and then you can see you have all these different things down here. In this case, we would just use comment, and that gives us exactly what we need. So we actually don't need a comment. We're going to go ahead and delete that. You can use the delete key by selecting on the side here and then hitting the delete key. So let's go ahead and check for, is the player moving? Okay, because obviously we're not going to have our background moving without the player moving as well. That would look really weird, unless, well, even then, even if it was an infinite runner, it would still always be moving, so there just wouldn't really be a condition there. So we're going to check to see if the player is moving. And then we're going to change, actually, you know what, a faster way would be just type in camera, do center X position, and we're going to set that equal to, we're going to do the, whoops, sometimes I use player, sometimes I use hero. Oh, I did use player. Player, and you can use X, and then we're going to, let's see, what's a good number? We're going to multiply that by, oh, let's see, 0.3, and then we're going to set the layer to 0, okay, or parallax 0, and I'll explain why here in just a second. Let's go ahead and hit play on that. Okay, so we're getting some parallaxing from the very first layer. So that's good. Let's go ahead and let's copy this a couple more times since we have a couple more backgrounds there. And I'm going to explain the layer thing here in just a second. Okay, then we're going to have to go ahead and set this to descending values. So let's explain the layers first. So I have created 3 layers here, and to do that you select add layer here, and then it will create a layer for you, and then you can rename it. I always recommend renaming everything you create just to make sure everything's neat and tidy. Super important when it comes to game development. So and then I move all of these using this key here to behind the base layer, okay? And on these layers, so if you watch here, see how I selected background 0? That is actually contained in layer parallax 0, and you can change that here. So what we're doing effectively is we are telling the camera, as far as the X position is concerned, to follow the player multiplied by a factor of 0.3 or 0.2, whatever that happens to be, which, by the way, the smaller the number, the slower it will be. That's why parallax 2, which is the last layer of the background, is 0.1. We want things to move slower in the background than they do in the foreground. So that's just what happens in real life. So anyway, we're telling the X position of the camera to follow the player, but it needs to be multiplied by 0.3, and thus you get a movement speed that's not quite equivalent to the player, which gives the illusion of depth in a 2D game, in an orthographic camera. So let's go ahead and see what this looks like. And let me know if you guys don't quite understand it in the comments, and I'll do my best to explain things. So it looks like we have a pretty well working parallaxing effect here. Now we have a problem though. When we launch the game, you can see that we're having an issue here where the background starts out in an awkward position. So what we want to do is we actually want to check how long this is. So you know what? Let's do, if I can get it. Yeah, I can't get it. Okay, so the width of this is 965. So if we do 965 divided by 2, that's 482.5. We'll just round down to 482. So what we're going to do, we're looking for the middle point, by the way. So, and it's always good to have a little bit of your backgrounds run off to the edges, just like you would if you had, see how I have the screen box ending here, the scene box, and I have the ground running off over the edges here, just like I do the scene, just in case. So, for instance, when you do build a game, you don't want your player to fall off the edge. That would be really frustrating for the player. So, what we're going to do now is we're actually going to add, I believe it was 482, right? Is that right, guys? 482? Yeah, 482. Okay, we're going to add 482 here and 482 here. And again, we're just trying to get the parallaxing backgrounds to start at a better position than their original position they were starting at due to our event here. And so what we did is we added half of their width to their current position. Therefore, when we start it, see? Can't see it anymore. Seamless. So now when you run, I don't want to run off the edge here, you have a really, really nice depth effect. And all right, guys, that's it. If you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe, and for more videos, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.